Hello, 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 Facebook family and friends. Hello, hello. Let's give it a couple of seconds here and see if I have anyone to join me on today's Facebook Live. We've had some gorgeous, gorgeous weather today. It's probably up in the 80s somewhere, so folk may be out just enjoying the weather, and I wouldn't blame you. Yeah, it's almost 90 degrees. Come on inside. It's too hot. That's just like us. It's either too cold or too hot. Excuse me. So, okay, today is Wednesday, and I am Chris Wilson, and this is the Midweek Motivation. Midweek Motivation. I can't even tell y'all the amount of exercise, the exercise that goes into just getting ready to do the Facebook Lives. With the sun being out, the lighting in the room is different. It looks like my pastor, William Covington, is watching. Hello, Pastor Covington. So we're just going to jump right into our topic for today. If you're watching live, go ahead and hit that share button. If you're catching me on the replay, you can still hit the share button. Thank you so very much for doing so. So, this past Monday, I woke up early Monday morning. Hello. Excuse me. And I couldn't go back to sleep, right? I couldn't go back to sleep, and I couldn't get into my space for prayer. So I decided to get up and listen to some videos that I had been wanting to listen to, right? There are a couple of people that I wanted to check out, and during the day I just didn't have the time to do it. So I thought, okay, the house is quiet, I can't go back to sleep. I can't really get my space of prayer. So this is an excellent time to watch some of these videos. So I got up and I started watching videos. Well, what I found now is that in this motivational speaking lane, it is easy to become one in the sea of thousands saying the same thing or relatively the same thing. And I really don't want to be in the fish tank, right? I am also noticing a trend. A similarity. Almost you're sounding like an echo. There's an echo. And I really don't want to be a part of the noise, right? So I began this dialogue with the Lord about this, So what I really want was asking the Lord, I really want fresh downloads. I want actionable items associated with the things that He's giving me, for my Facebook Live, my midweek motivation. I want what I'm doing to make a difference in people's lives and make an impact, and I think that's what's happening and it will only be, that can only happen as I'm being led by the Lord. And I do recognize that, and I appreciate, that fact. He knows, because only He knows the next thing that we need to hear. Exactly, right? He knows the next steps that we need to take. So today's midweek motivation is the result of that dialogue that I had with the Lord on Monday morning, right? Out of my supplication, out of my plea, my petition before the Lord. And guess what? He's the only one who could answer those type of requests. But when you ask the Lord for something, you better be ready for His answer, okay? Ready to receive His answer. And guess what He said? Consistency and perseverance are needed. Boom. Consistency and perseverance are needed. Okay. So it does not matter, in other words, if you feel like you're sounding like everybody else. It doesn't matter. Your voice is unique. And even if you're saying the exact same thing, it has your seasoning on it. It has your flavor. It has your inflections, because no one else has the experience that you bring to the table. No one else has the perspective that you bring to the table. So that was a strong reminder that those who are supposed to hear your message will, and those who don't, they never were supposed to. So keep doing what you're doing. So as that encouraged me, that is my encouragement to you today. Keep doing what you're doing. You're in your lane. You're doing what God has called you to do, created you to do, and given you the assignment to do for now. Keep doing what you're doing, right? So I encourage you, just keep in spite of and despite of the many others who appear to be saying the same things. So the many others that appear to be in your lane doing the same things that you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? Yes, there may be hundreds in your lane doing what you're doing, but there is only one you, and your expression is what? Authentically you, right? So consistency and perseverance are needed. We can so easily start out of the gate with a lot of energy, a lot of zeal, a lot of passion, a lot of drive. And then, excuse me, we, those of us who are in the social media, world, you can follow your numbers. You can see, these tools that they have associated with each of the social media platforms. You can follow your numbers. You can see if this topic was of interest to people, that people comment on this particular topic with you, so you'll know pretty much how you're doing. Hi, Tanya Jones. Thank you for joining. So the comments really can be helpful to keep you on track or to get you to really focus in on the target audience that you have. So yes, you see the comments coming in, and yes, they're favorable. People are responding. So great. Then we make that mistake of looking at what others are doing, and we start to compare. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. Before you know it, your balloon, it starts to deflate, right? I caution you not to allow what others are doing to cause you to take your eyes off what God has for you to do. And don't let I caution you not to allow the daily grind to cause you to lose heart. I do believe that the momentum created simply by the passion itself will carry us a great distance. It really will. It really can be a challenge, but that same level of fervency and zeal that caused you to stand up your business or your ministry in the first place will have to be tapped into in order to keep that business going and keep that ministry growing, right? Hebrews chapter 10, verses 35 through 36 says, "Therefore, do not cast away your confidence, which has great reward, for you have need of endurance, so that after you have done the will of God, you may receive the promise." Boom, there it is. Consistency and perseverance, right? I've had to, chuckle because my friend Nina just mentioned this to me. Hi, Angela Ferguson. Thank you for joining. My friend Nina just mentioned this to me this past weekend when we got together, how while even on my European vacation back in March, I still paused on Wednesday to do my midweek motivation. Consistency is the key. Consistency and perseverance. Yeah, we do have to consistently show up in the space created for us. This is all part of our saying yes to the Lord. Even when we don't see much activity, we have to show up. We have to be consistent. We have to persevere. We have to push past the thoughts that what we're doing isn't making a difference, because it really is, even if you are the only one being changed by your efforts. That makes it all worthwhile, right? Everyone who is changed by the effort makes it worthwhile. Sometimes we have to revisit the promise in order to regain that level of energy and drive, which is why it is critical to write the vision and make it plain, right? Write it down. Make it plain. Make it very crystal clear so that when you hit those plateaus in what you're doing, you can refer back to that promise. You can refer back to that vision written out, and it will re-energize you. It will cause you to hope again. It'll give you new perspective. It'll give you a new burst of energy, new wind under your wings, as long as you have something to refer back to. So, excuse me, when we start strong, sometimes we start to fizzle. We'll fizzle out because we start to think we have to complete our tasks in our own strength or in our own power, in our own intellect, our own might, our own wisdom. No, not at all. Listen, Galatians has a strong, almost a rebuke, basically, about that. Galatians 3, verses 2 through 4 says, "This only will I learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law, or by hearing of the faith, or of faith? Are you so foolish? Have you begun in the Spirit? Are you now being made perfect by the flesh? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain?" Unquote. So that's a strong Those are strong words to shake us back into reality. It's like, just listen, this thing didn't start with you. It didn't start because you one day woke up and decided that this is what I'm going to do. This thing started as an assignment given to you, given to us by God. So if we're going to keep the momentum, if we're going to keep the zeal, we're going to keep the fervency, we have to stay in connection with God so that we'll continue to hear his directions from step to step, from moment to moment about our assignments, right? That's good. That we need to know that God is there to help us along the way. In other words, he is saying we sought the Lord for guidance and direction to get our business or our ministry started. We need to continue to seek his guidance and direction to keep them fresh and relevant. Stay the course. Be faithful to the call. Push through those plateaued spaces. Keep moving, and you will see the desired results. I believe in you. I do. I believe you can leap over any present hurdle and land on your feet in full stride, still running, right? Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, right? You have to encourage yourself, and going back, referring back to that vision, referring back to the plan, the assignment can help you as you encourage yourself in the Lord. When we go back over and rehearse the promises given about any particular space we're in, we have the opportunity to evaluate what's causing us this pause right now, what's causing us to feel burned out, what's causing us to feel as though we're not making an impact. What is it that's causing us to really doubt the lane that we're in as we go back and revisit, the promise? We go back and realize and remember that it's not us. It never was us. And from the very beginning, it was never about us. It was all about our saying yes to the Lord and fulfilling the assignment that he gave us. So surrender those things to God and watch him work it out for you. God is faithful. He will revive you and give you fresh and renewed vigor for the task. Remember, you're never alone. God has said himself that he would never leave you nor forsake you. He's always there. So as I close today, I have to tell you how this message on consistency and perseverance was magnified in my life on Monday. So much so that I jumped on Facebook and did a pop-up video to commemorate that event. I really could have incorporated yesterday's video into today, but, I had to do it yesterday because the excitement was too strong to hold it. So I did one yesterday. To get the full context of my encounter on Monday, I suggest you go back. Angela was there. She heard yesterday's message. Please watch yesterday's video if you didn't see it. So in addition to the Lord answering my plea with the fact that I need to be consistent and persevere, he also sent this lady, April Mahoney, into my day on Monday. He sent this lady to me on Monday. She's an online radio personality from San Diego, and we were talking about the potential of my becoming a part of her podcast, being interviewed on her podcast. And let me tell y'all, this lady gave me some amazing tips on how to freshen up and revive what I'm doing. So you see, by my making my plea to God, he's answering me with my need to be consistent and my need to continue to be consistent and my need to persevere. He also sent this lady all the way from the West Coast to drop some powerful nuggets on me to help me remain consistent and to persevere. So she told me to keep doing what I'm doing, just add this, tweak that, incorporate the other, revive some things. And listen, family and friends, my life is Exhibit A for these Midweek Motivations. My life is Exhibit A. But my yes to the Lord, it really is all we need. Your yes to the Lord is really all he needs. And everything else he'll take care of. He'll make sure you have all that you need to fulfill the assignment that he's got you on for right now. He will see to it that you're successful. You will successfully fulfill everything that he preordained for us to accomplish in this season in our lives. In his time. It's all in his timing. You are enough and you have enough. Just be consistent and persevere in whatever it is that you have been preordained to do. Amen. That is the midweek motivation for this week. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you very much. This is the motivation for this week. I am so grateful that each of you have joined me. And again, hit that share button either now or, come back on a little bit later. Hit that share button. And my tagline, make this your season to live out your reason. Be authentically you. I'll chat with you all next week. Bye-bye. Have a great rest of your day.